Up North at 4 with Nate and Jeff starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Morgan Johnson. Today on Up North at 4, we'll talk to 3 members of different Northwoods chorus groups to hear about upcoming concerts and events. Plus, Beth Hansen will talk to us about Hansen's Garden Village's tips on growing a successful garden. We'll get to all that in a bit, but first, here's your top 4 at 4. A 14-year-old boy has been accused of killing 10-year-old Lily Peters in Chippewa Falls. Peters' body was found Monday along a walking trail after her father reported her missing. A prosecutor says the 14-year-old boy knew the girl and planned the attack. He knocked her down, hit her with a stick, and strangled her to death before sexually assaulting her. The boy appeared in adult court in Chippewa County from a juvenile detention center. Wisconsin law generally calls for juveniles age 10 and up to be prosecuted as adults when they are charged with first-degree intentional homicide. He is currently being held on a $1 million cash bond. Starting tomorrow, people will be able to watch professional glass blowers in Wausau. Outdoor demonstrations will take place at the Lee Yawkey Woodson Art Museum in Wausau. From April 29th to May 8th, professional glass blowers from New York will show off their art. Colorful bowls, vases, and other decorations will be made. This is a family-friendly event. The demonstrations over the next 10 days will be free to the public and will be held from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. With a 15-8 vote, the Starbucks in Oak Creek, Wisconsin became the first to unionize in the state. Over 200 Starbucks locations across America have been filed for elections to be represented by Workers United. The workers at this cafe asked for union recognition back in February. Workers United is fighting for Starbucks baristas to help build safer and better workplaces. Starbucks workers in Plover, Madison, and Fox Valley will also cast their votes for union representation in the future. The largest man-made water reservoir in the country is at an all-time low. Lake Mead in Nevada is a source of water for millions of people in the West. It was formed by the Hoover Dam on the Colorado River. The lake's plummeting water level has exposed one of the reservoir's original water intake valves for the first time. The valve had been in service since 1971, but can no longer draw water. The federal government declared a water shortage on the Colorado River for the first time last summer. A study published in February found the period from 2000 to 2021 was the driest in the region in 1,200 years. This has been driven by human-caused climate crisis. Chief Meteorologist Conrad Sapinski joins us now. Conrad, what's the weather looking like today?
Yeah, it's finally warmed up just a little.
We're back on Up North at 4. We are joined by 3 different members of different choral groups in the Rhinelander area. So why don't you all just introduce yourselves first?
Hi, my name is Paul Evenson, and I belong with the Hims and Hers group here in Rhinelander, a mixed men and women's group.
Okay.
I'm Diane Gilman, and I'm from the Northwoods Choraleers, and we're strictly a women's group, and we're also based in Rhinelander.
Awesome.
I'm Corky Stockson. I'm with the Rhinelander Male Chorus, and we're, as you can imagine, all male.
Okay, so I know all 3 of these groups have a lot of history in the area. Why don't you, Paul, just begin by giving me an overview of the history?
Sure. So Hims and Hers was started by B. Kerner, if I'm correct.
Yes, yep.
I've only been with the group for a few years, so I don't know a lot of the background history, but they will help me.
Okay, sounds good.
Just being with the group for only a few years now, B started the group, I think, over 25 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and actually it started from a group that called the Jubilee Singers, which started back in the early 80s.
Oh, wow.
And then it transitioned, we quit for a while, and then B wanted to start it back up again, so she started Hims and Hers.
And then B continued with the group until her unfortunate passing back in 2017. Since 2017, the group's been under the direction of Jim Priovalos, and we've all had a blast ever since.
Why don't you tell me how these groups have kind of developed since the 80s when they started?
Now that I have no history. I hate to say it, I've only been in the Northwoods for about 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, the Jubilee Singers started with Bee and Mary Peterson, B.B. Kerner, Mary Peterson, and Carla Strong. And we had the girls group and we had the male group, both sponsored by Nicolay, the college.
Oh, that's right.
And they decided they wanted to have a mixed group and gospel basic. And so they started that back in the 80s. We actually sang at Country Fest a couple years.
So then if my memory is jogged correctly, it sounds like a lot of these groups were sponsored by Nicolay College
Yes.
just until recent history.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
Yeah, I know you guys just recently had a Christmas concert at Nicolay, right? Okay.
Yes. And that was it was a lot of fun, wildly successful. We all had a great time.
Okay, it sounds like you guys have another concert coming up. We're
Yes.
actually going to talk about that after the commercial break.
Okay.
So we're going to head to commercial, but we'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay, we're back. We're still joined by the 3 guests from different choral groups in Rhinelander. We talked kind of about the history. We're going to get into a new concert coming up in like a few days. So tell me about that.
So this is coming up on Sunday, May 1st, 2 o'clock at First United Congregational Church of Christ on Larch Street here in town. Again, 2 o'clock, and all 3 groups are going to be featured at the concert. From the Hymns and Hers perspective, we're actually giving a little bit of a Stephen Sondheim tribute.
Okay, cool.
So we have songs from, let me read my notes here, we have songs from On the Way to the Forum, Sunday in the Park with George, and Into the Woods.
Why should people attend this concert?
Because it's going to be fun.
It's always fun.
It's always
Yes,
fun.
it's always fun, yes.
And I think it's a great outing for the community, just to come on out. Spring fever's in the air. We should come on out and enjoy. Mask as you feel comfortable at the concert. It's not mandatory.
It's free.
And it's free.
It's free.
It's very.
Okay, let's hear from one of you. You've been doing a lot of talking.
I know I have. Shame on me.
No,
Okay, I've been with Choraleers approximately 40 years. I started just as something to do in the evening, and it just has developed into something that I look forward to every Tuesday night. And it's a group of very talented ladies that we laugh, we sing, we cry together when things go poorly in our personal lives, and it's just a wonderful support system. And going out and singing for the community, singing and music is just uplifting to the soul. And if ever there was a time we needed uplifting, it's been in the last 2 years when we've been isolated and depressed and everything. It just brings us alive. And we'll sing Broadway song, we're singing a Polynesian folk song, so we do all a variety of music. So.
Okay, it sounds really fun. One last time, remind the viewers about the event on Sunday.
Oh, sure. So this will be the choral event, the concert. Again, Sunday, May 1st at 2 o'clock. That's 2 o'clock at First United Congregational Church of Christ on Larch Street here in town.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much for coming on the show. It was awesome to hear about the history, and you guys should definitely check out your guys' concert on Sunday.
Great.
All right, we'll be back in just a few minutes. We're going to talk to Beth Hansen from Hansen's Garden Village.